Hello, hello. We are playing Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time, and we have made it to the Fire Temple. So if you haven't checked out the previous videos, check out, there should be a playlist below where you can watch all the previous videos leading up to this point. So if you haven't been here before, I am a small retro channel, so I would greatly appreciate you guys liking, commenting on my videos, and subscribing if you like this sort of content. I am playing on my original Nintendo 64 hardware. Oh, we have found Darunia. It is very early on, but let's see. While he's talking, just let me show you this real quick. This is my original Nintendo 64 hardware. I am playing on a Nintendo 64, of course. I'm not emulating. I'm not playing on the Nintendo Switch. Everything kind of looks a little crisper on those, but there have been some changes. So anyway, just a little bit of an introduction for you guys. Let's go ahead. We are doing the Fire Temple. Who's there? Is that you, JP? It really is JP. You've grown so big since I last saw you. Yeah, the last time we saw Darunia was Dodongo's Cavern when you were a little kid. I want to have a man-to-man talk with you, but now's not the time. Ganondorf is causing trouble on Death Mountain again. He has revived the evil ancient dragon Volvagia. On top of that, he's going to feed my people to that evil dragon as a warning to other races that might resist them. Well, he's just attacking everyone, isn't he? If that fire-breathing dragon escapes from the mountain, all of Hyrule will become a burning wasteland. So as I go through this playthrough, if you happen to be new here, I'm going to try to point out tips and tricks, different things that I've learned over the years. I've been playing this game for 30 years, so this is definitely a childhood favorite of mine on the Nintendo 64. Well, in gaming in general, really. But I do like to point out that sort of stuff. If there are any differences, things that I've missed, let me know. I haven't played all the other versions. Like there's a DS version, there's a GameCube Master Quest version. There's a version on the Nintendo Switch that has been like kind of touched up and put into widescreen. This one is not. This is the original 4:3 aspect ratio, and I believe this is the second cartridge to come out. We're going to talk about that, especially here in the Fire Temple. If you don't know what I'm talking about, you need to stick around because there are all sorts of very, very interesting things specifically in the Fire Temple. We'll get to those. I'm concerned though because I don't have the legendary hammer, but I have no choice. JP, I'm asking you to do this as my sworn brother. While I'm trying to deal with the dragon, please save my people. The prisoner cells are in the opposite direction. I'm counting on you, JP. So from that main room where we came into the Fire Temple, we already know that that's where he's going to be fighting the boss, and we cannot access that. There seems to be this giant pillar, and holy crap, it goes all the way up. If you can see that. So it looks like we've got a couple directions we can go in here. It looks like there's a switch on that side, so let's try to go that way. So one of those little changes, well, let me start with this first. When this game came out in, I believe it was the end of 1998. Are you releasing me? Am I free to go? I'll tell you a secret for saving me. In order to get into the room where Darunia went, you have to do something about the pillar stuck in the ceiling. Okay, yeah, we looked at that. Find a path that leads to a room above the ceiling right away. So when this game came out, there were a plethora of different things. Sound effects, different visual things, music that had to be changed, and the reason it had to be changed, and they had to make a version 2 of the cartridge, and they actually had to pull all the original version 1s off of the market. One of those reasons was because this Fire Temple has music that apparently was taken off of some sort of, and correct me if I'm wrong in the comments, please. Nintendo had a library of stock sounds and music and effects and all sorts of things that they usually alter to avoid, copyright infringement, things like that. which is kind of a standard practice, funny enough. But I don't know why I'm fighting this fire keys. We have a key, so we're going to go across. And one of the things that happened was that one of the game developers used what was not known at the time to be some chanting. It was some sort of prayer of Islamic tradition. We're gonna play the Song of Time here, and of course there was a bit of outrage from quite a few people. Nintendo has basically a rule that they don't want to be involved with any sort of religious symbols or anything like that, and so that had to be removed. And so the version that you're listening to now, the music in the Fire Temple, is the version 2 after it has been changed. If you were lucky enough to get one of the rare copies that came out very early in the run, then you would be hearing the version that instead has, whoops, these likes are very annoying. Then you would be hearing the Islamic chanting. It's a prayer. I don't think it was anything particularly, it wasn't anything bad. It wasn't anything like over the top. It just happened to be something that should not have been put in the game. The easiest way to put it, without making it too complex, they had to take all of that out, restore the music to something that was different, and so we got a gold skull tool out of that, and we've seen our first like. So that was the only reason to go to this side. So if you listen, I'm going to shut up for a second. You can listen to this music. If you... Let me shut up. It's kind of just a more subdued version of the music that's being played. Excuse me, I still have this cough. Okay, so I've let the music play for a little bit. Okay, these are some bombable walls. Now listen to the difference. There's a different sound. So, if there was ever any question, if you have an old cartridge, one of the original rare cartridges, and you don't know, you never paid any attention, and the numbers have worn off, I believe, I'd have to look it up on Google, or you guys can look it up on Google for me, but there are, if you turn your Zelda Ocarina of Time cartridge over onto the back, there's actually little, really small, faint numbers that are kind of inscribed, embossed into the cartridge itself, and it will tell you which version you have. And or you can just listen to this and know that this is not the rare cartridge. This is the one that came out in like November of that year, which was right at like the Game of the Year edition that came out in 1998. The special crop he's referring to is bombs. But if you have a cartridge that you've played and the music is different, it's possible that you have one of the more rare cartridges, and that you have the version that was not censored. And something really funny happened to me. A friend of mine, and you know who you are if you're watching, he had one of the rare cartridges, and for 30 years, he never knew. He didn't realize that he had a rare cartridge. And it wasn't until I went over to his house, and I played, we went into the Fire Temple for whatever reason, and the music was different, and I was the one, we kind of basically traded traded places in not realizing that the other had a different version of the same cartridge. Or we had different versions of the game. Neither of us knew. Neither of us were aware until this meeting actually happened. So that was really funny, and we went down this rabbit hole of all the differences that you find in cartridges. There are going to be more. Absolutely check out the remaining videos in this playlist as I continue to play this game for you all. But it turns out that he had one of those original uncensored cartridges. And the music and the chanting in this fire temple, it just like, it threw me for a loop. I had never heard it before. And then I showed him my cartridge and the music that is in here, and he was just dumbstruck. Okay, so we have a key that we do not have. So he was absolutely dumbstruck himself at the fact that he had been listening to a cartridge that he wasn't aware was different either. So it just, all these things wrapped up in themselves, and it was just by coincidence that we learned this. So yeah, I've talked a lot about just this one thing. So there are quite a few other things, differences in the bottom of the well, some differences in the shadow temple. There are some differences in the way the blocks looked. I think I talked about that in Dodongo's Cavern. If you check out, I think it's like video 4 or something like that in this playlist. Okay, what are we doing? Because I've been talking so much, I have kind of lost track. Where is my other key? We're actually going to go back here, but only because I know there was a... we hadn't gone over to this side, and I wanted to show you guys something over here. Because when you get close to finishing this temple, if you go over here, and you happen to be in need of either hearts, or, in this case, fairies, you're actually going to be able... Oh, I missed. You can actually bottle a fairy there. And there's 2 fairies over here. So it's really nice to have the bottled fairies. They help you in case, you get defeated, you lose all your hearts, the fairy comes out, replenishes your hearts, you can keep going. We're going to keep that there. Alright. So there is something else that's kind of funny about this temple. So yes, you can wear the fire-resistant Goron tunic, which is what I'm wearing, and you do still take damage in like if you walk across like the fire and the lava that in the other room where we just were, but it takes a lot longer before you take that damage. But something else that's really funny about this temple, there is a glitch, and it's not a glitch. It's something peculiar, something quirky that happens if you only have a quarter of a heart before coming into this temple and you're wearing your regular green tunic. The temple will not take hearts away from you for you to die in the game, but only if you come in here with a quarter of a heart left, it's kind of a tough thing to pull off. Because you have to do it outside of the temple, and you can technically finish the entire temple wearing a green tunic, which is just really odd. It's really bizarre that you could do that, but someone figured that out. If you come in here with anything other than, I believe it's a quarter of a heart, then the heat will take you out. So I kind of wonder if I just... if I didn't go up here first. Yeah, I think that's what happened, is we didn't go out here first. So let's... No, we did this room. Did we do the bottom? Now I've lost track of what I've done. I believe we did do the bottom because the bottom was where one of the Gorons was. And we got a key so that we could go across. So we're missing one key that's going to go to the top room where we take that block up with fire. So I'm pretty, like I said, I'm pretty sure we've gone in here. I am talking too much. Oh. Nope. It's just that the rooms look very similar. Here's a secret for saving me. A wall that you can destroy with the Goron's special crop will sound different than a regular wall if you hit it with your sword. Yeah, we talked about that earlier. But here's the key that we needed. So we have saved 3 Gorons thus far. Now we will go all the way across the bridge. So something interesting is here. You can walk across this lava for like a split second and not take any damage, but eventually, there it is. So you take damage after a while. If you have the green tunic on, it instantly takes away. Your hearts, your health. The wrong way. Man, I am all turned around. I am talking way too much. That's what's going on here. Let's go on. We are set now. I know where we're going now. Let's see if we can get a heart out of him. Nope. So there are playlists on this channel. I've played a lot of N64, but I do have my other systems. I didn't mention this. I usually mention this at the start of these videos. Is I have built a cart, an AV cart, where I am playing on a actual tube TV, an old school CRT TV is what I'm actually playing on. And I have it adapted so I can record over to my side. I've got my computer, so it's recording this video for you all. But I am playing on an old school TV, which is the best way to do this. The colors look great, the color blending. These retro consoles look way better on old CRT TVs. You don't have the digitized pixel look, which is actually what you're seeing, because it is being that information is being not the same transmitted as a CRT over to the digitized version, is the short way of putting it. So unfortunately for you all, but not for me, my image that I'm looking at is much better, much nicer than what you guys are getting. However, what I meant to say was that I have all my consoles on my AV cart, and there is a video, or I will be making a video where, if you guys would like, where I have a build for my cart. So let me know in the comments below if you guys would like to see that. There are a lot of streamers on YouTube who they will either just play from their computer, they will have these games emulated, and lo and behold, because of what I just mentioned about all the cartridges and stuff, I don't know if there are, maybe there are different emulations of this game where you can play the old versions. I don't know. So let me show you this real quick. So this is on fire, and we need to go up there, but we haven't been able, we're not able to climb this, obviously. So the way to actually set it off, you stand over here, and then you have to hurry. You can either hit it with an arrow, drop a bomb on it, whatever you want to do. If you drop a bomb on it, it gives you a lot more time. But really you can make it pretty easily by just using the hook shot. I was about to say, if this is a locked door, I'm screwed, because I don't remember where another key is. Okay, so we have made it to this room. This is a big room. We're going to be coming back to this room quite a bit. There's boulders rolling around and all sorts of stuff. We found a switch. Let's try to keep track of the Gorons. I don't actually remember how many Gorons there are. in here. I believe this is number 4. There are doors that fall down when you try to open them. When one of these doors start to fall, move. If you use a sample of the Goron's special crop, you can break it. Every time they say special crop, they just mean bombs. You can bomb everything in this game. So this is Goron number 4, which I believe will be key number 4. There's a lot of keys in this one. So we're gonna have to try to keep track, and I'm gonna keep bombs handy because there are a few different places where there are bombable areas. I'm gonna wait for this thing. I believe there's something over there I can get. Or no, he's actually above us. But there was a spot. I'm gonna get hit here. There's a spot somewhere where there's a bombable wall. We will find it eventually. And we do need to be going into that room there. Some of this stuff is hard to see because you're in a top-down view. Woo, that was close. Let's get across. Let's go over here. Goron number 5. Let me tell you a secret as a reward for releasing me. When you are on fire, you can put it out by swinging your sword or by rolling forward. Did you know that? Sure did. We've got 2 keys now. Assuming this is a key, I think they all are. So Goron number 5. This thing get past. Oh. Alright, we're gonna go in this door. Alright, this is one of the ways to fall. This may be one of the biggest, longest falls you can do in this entire game. We are not gonna do it. This takes you all the way down to the room where there's that bridge, that long bridge with all the lava around it. That's where that goes. If you are not careful, it will take you all the way back down to there. But what we're gonna do, because we have this key, we're gonna go this way. Before I enter this room, well, let's just go ahead. We'll just go ahead. You'll see what happens. Some of you may remember. There is a wall of fire, and it is moving towards you. Now you can do this, and you can get out of the way, and everything's good. You don't have to worry. Now, there is something else in this room that absolutely pissed me off when I was a kid. We did not have guides. We did not really have internet to have all the answers to these games back in the day. So you either figured it out on your own, or maybe a friend of yours had played this game. But we're gonna get back to why this room pisses me off, and you're gonna need to stick around for that. So we have now made it to the top. We're in the same room, but we have gone up a level. I'm gonna put a bomb there. Now there's a switch over there, so we know we're gonna have to come back up. Actually, let's go do that now. If you fall off, you have to come back around to do this, so it's very annoying. Wait for that boulder. I don't think you can get hit by the boulder from here, but... Alright, let's press this switch. And so, that Goron we just released is all the way over there. we're gonna release that Goron, and then we'll come back to where we just were. I can't hit him from here. Well, let's use an arrow. There we go. Just easier than having to deal with possibly getting over there and then being bumped off and having to start all over. So you can actually make this jump, but funny enough, you can also try to do this, because there is a little treasure chest over there, which we already know is a key. In case you're afraid to make that jump. Let's see what he says. Although you don't have, I don't think you have to talk to them to release. Once you open the door, it's fine. This is Goron number 6. I'll tell you a secret. If you find a place that you can see on the map but can't reach, try playing your ocarina. Referring to the Door of Time, but also, and I haven't done this yet, so we're actually going to have to come back. For those of you who are 100% completionist in this game, there's a spot over here. Let me see if I can show you guys where it is. I believe it's over here on this side. Up there. Let me show you from here. You can't reach that spot. See how there's a Navi is turning green? Anytime you see a green Navi, it's one of really a couple of things. One, you can play either the Song of Storms or in some cases the Sun Song, and it will be a fairy. In other cases, it will be the Scarecrow Song. And the reason you play the Scarecrow Song, which you have to learn from Pierre the Scarecrow in Lake Helia as a child, is because he will appear here. And once he appears up there, you use your hook shot, you can get up there. There's a gold Skulltula up there that you have no way of reaching. The only way to get up there is to use the Scarecrow Song, which I don't have. I don't believe I have a Scarecrow Song. I usually make it something really simple, but I don't think I saved it. So you can actually get up there. Not yet. Not me anyway. So I can't remember if there's like a jump across. You get up there. Yeah, there's a platform up there from here to there, and you can there's a gold Skulltula. So interesting, huh? All right. Let's go down here because we haven't done this yet. That's fine, I'll take the damage. So this happens to be the other side of one of the Gorons we saw earlier. So if you remember this room, this is Goron number 7, I believe. So far we've had 7 small keys in this dungeon, and there are a few more. Are you releasing me? Am I free to go? Here's a tip for rescuing me. Somewhere in this temple, you're sure to meet up with some creatures that dance as they attack. Arrows won't hurt them. Looks like you might need some of the Goron's special crop. That's all I have to tell you. So, you will remember this room from when we came in here through this door. We came in here through this door, and that was locked, and we had to go over this way. We pushed the block, we went over and around. We did all of that. We don't have to do that again. We can just go this way. And now we're going to go to the room that I was talking about earlier that frustrated me to no end. Oh, I thought you could hook shot up here. Save a little bit of time. Not the case. So, again, when I was young, we didn't have strategy guides. We didn't really have there weren't really internet forums. The internet was around, but there weren't really forums at the time to do all the strategy guide stuff that you can just easily search on the internet now. So you either knew or you figured it out, or there really weren't any other answers to this. So this room. There is a door over there, but it's up on a platform, and that platform does not look like you can reach it. It does not look like you can reach it. And so here I was, and of course you're trying to avoid this fire all the while you're doing all this. We're gonna wait for the fire, but usually you're all frantic and running, trying to run away from this fire, and you're standing here, and it's like, holy hell, that is so high up. Look how high up this looks. There's no way. Well, it turns out, you can see it. It looks like you glitched. I'll do it again just so you can see it. But it really does look like you glitch jump up there. There's just a frame that's missing, and you can make it up here. My brother and I must have wandered around this temple like for an hour, trying to figure out how to get up here. Was there some sort of target? Was there something we were missing to get up here, or did you have to go around? No, it turns out that you can just jump up here. That's crazy. That's insane. Maybe you didn't have the same experience I did, but holy crap, that drove us absolutely mad for I don't know how long. Okay, so we have made it to a completely different room now. And there's really a couple different ways you can go here. Obviously, you can go to the right. Let's see what Navi wants. You can see down from here. Isn't that the room where we saw Darunia? So if you look down, it is indeed that room, all the way down. Well, it turns out that this is the pillar. This giant pillar here that goes all the way down. Remember that we needed to get all the way across? We're going to have to do something about that. Alright? So, you start running through here, and then you realize, holy crap, all this fire comes up at you. And you've got boulders in place at the same time all of this is happening. So what is this? This must be like the map or the compass or something. Compass. So it's rare that you get the compass before you get the map. So it's really funny to look in the bottom right hand corner of the screen, and all you've got are the little arrows, but there's no map to speak of, so that's just, it's funny. So you would think following the boulders would help you, but it turns out that all of these are blocked. These are all blocked passages, and this is one of those fake doors that the Goron was talking about earlier. If you try to open these doors, it literally wobbles at you and tries to smash you, so you have to run away. But you can kind of look at them, and the texture is just slightly different than a real door. It kind of juts out from the wall just a tiny bit more. So we're gonna go ahead and put a bomb just to show you. See how that looks different? So it's not a real door. So the other thing that's especially annoying about this location is you're trying to make your way across, and it's not even a real door. So there's no way for you to get over there. So how do we get over there? Well, it turns out not this way. So we are instead going to... Oh, that would be a huge mistake, I believe. For you to fall. Actually, I think we do have to go down there eventually. But we're going to go around and check this place out because we haven't done that yet. We're going to try to follow carefully. You're kind of tiptoeing around and carefully trying to figure out if fire is going to come in your direction. Okay, I see there's a door over there. There's also boulders going around everywhere. You got to carefully carefully make our way around. That was not the right decision. Oh, there it is. It is a maze. Interesting design. Oh, of course, you're not expecting that either. You just want a bit of health, then you've got fire spit at you. Same thing over here. Just hug the wall and hope for the best. I'm gonna go this way. And you gotta go around. Nope. This way. Okay, we have finally made it. Into this room. So, we can't get in there. And of course he's scared. Please don't eat me. If you eat something like me, you'll get a stomachache. You'll be sorry. Okay, so we need to open this somehow. And look, we have another green knobby. So even though you can't see it, if you look up somewhere, yeah, you can't see it from here. But anytime you see a green knobby, you should try to go ahead and play either the Song of Storm or Zelda's Lullaby or I think I said Song of Storms. Yeah, that's right. Song of Storms, Song of Time. Make our way over. And now we realize that this switch is rusted. Okay, so that does not help us. So we can't go in here. There's nothing for us to do. So we're gonna have to find some other way around. Now, it turns out I kind of screwed up there. And just in order to show you guys that was the case, we're gonna backtrack, make our way, not get hit by a boulder this time. Make our way back around. If you're good, you can kind of remember which direction stuff was in. Nope, I'm terrible. It was one of these. Okay, go around that way. There we go. We're gonna go back into that same room, but now we're gonna go across because we already went up, but we didn't go through this door. Let's see what's on this side. So now, remember, we couldn't make our way across. When we went on the right side, we couldn't make our way across. Every single one of these is closed off, but now we have access to this left side over here. And that will hopefully get us all the way across. Carefully. Now it turns out, I'll just show you. This switch is a timed switch. You can tell because the little music is playing. So you figure out that the way to go is straight through here, and you do not backtrack at all because the fire will get you. Now this is another tricky little spot. We try to open this door, and again we have one of these fake doors. So we're gonna bomb this thing, and now we have a real door behind it. And I believe this is one of those dancers that he was talking about earlier. Now this is funny because you go all the way around and you can actually hit him a few times. And he changes color every time. Don't stand on the corners because he's gonna fall into a corner and get you. You're gonna want to get it out before he goes all the way around. Then you start getting hit by fire and stuff. So you can manage to hit him a few times before he runs away. But it's always nice to get that extra hit. Again, don't stand on the corners because one of these he'll pop right onto a corner. So we've gone from red to blue to now green, I believe. Should be hitting him one last time here. Get away because it blows up. So there are actually, if I remember correctly, let's see. Is this the door we came in from? It is. You can see from the red arrow on the compass. So we hop up here. Turns out this thing is a little elevator. Now what is this? Now we've seen this crystal before, so we know. Very similar action, so that fire has to be put out. Now you can, like I said, if you want to play it safe, you can drop a bomb there so that you can make your way up in time. I like to use my hook shot. You kind of have to stand on the very edge because otherwise it doesn't, it'll hit the floor. Like if you do it here, it'll hit the floor instead of the crystal, like that. So you got to stand real close. We're going to walk to our left. Make our way up. And we have made it across. Alright, this is another nightmare room. If you've never played on an actual Nintendo 64 analog stick, or if you happen to hate this controller, I don't really understand the hate, but maybe it's just because I grew up with this controller. I don't have any issues with it. But I'm going to tell you what's about to happen here. When you hit this switch, this is a timed switch. And it's timed because you have to make it to there before the fire is put out, because there is something over there that is of special interest. But the only way to get there is through these tiny, tiny steps. And they get narrower and narrower and narrower all the way up. And if you fall off to your left, no problem, you can try again. If you fall off to your right, you're going all the way back down and you have to try this whole damn thing all over again. So, in the meantime, I believe, so I'm going to mention this, but again, I can't do it now. There is a gold Skulltula in this room. But you're going to need the long shot. And we only have the regular hook shot. The reason you need the long shot is because it is so far down that you can't actually reach it. I believe it's down here somewhere. Or it's across. Let's try to look for it real quick before we step on this. Oh, that's all right. We'll try it again. So that's the direction you have to go. So I'm gonna let that time out. But in the meantime, I believe the gold Skulltula is over here somewhere, and you can't reach it with the regular hook shot. You need the long shot, which means you have to come back after you finish the next temple to come get that gold Skulltula. So it really is a pain in the ass. I think you have to fall down to a different level that isn't normally available to you, or you fall down that way. And there's actually another room that looks very similar to this one, and it's on the wall. And it's too far away for you to access it from here. So this is the run that you've got to make. And see how these little stairs are very narrow? And you have very little time to actually get over there. So I would have already run out of time, but we're going to do it. We're going to try to face this direction. And we're going to go that way. I find that just being confident gets you there. If you if you aim the stick and just keep moving forward, it's better than hesitating and having to reset every single time. That's what I find. You found the Megaton hammer. Alright. This is a badass weapon. We're gonna save because we do not want to do that again. And we're gonna go the safe route. Because I don't want to do that. What's down here? We're gonna look. Do we fall off somewhere, or is there just another? Nope, that's it. You can't make it up there, can you? All right. So excuse me. The reason you need it is for this. Now we have available to us the use of the Megaton hammer. That moves blocks, it moves rusty switches, which we're going to need. Remember that room with the rusty switch? That's what we're going to activate. But it also activates... Oh, whoops. I'm actually going to need that. I know it looks silly, but you're going to need this crate, I believe. Take this with you. This is one of those switches where it's weighted. So you have to put something down on it. So we're going to put the crate down. And now we're here. So we're going to do this again. All right. We're going to undo this switch. And now remember, we're going to come back here, but we're not going to do that yet, because if you do that, you're going to fall all the way down. We're going to go back in here because we still need to go across. And here is what it was telling you before. Talk to this Goron. I believe this is number 8. Someone keep track for me. A door is hidden inside the statue at the entrance to this temple. But the Goron special crop won't work on it. Don't you have anything stronger? We've got the Megaton hammer. So he's talking about the very beginning of this temple, where there were a couple of doors on the ground floor before you go up the stairs. Now there is actually a glitch, but we'll get to that room. Like I said, I don't glitch, but I'm aware of the glitches in this game. But before we do that, we are going to go ahead and press down on this button. This is the pillar in the main room for the boss. And this is one of the coolest. What a long fall that is. So now we have access. That's the main door we came in through. And that is where Darunia is fighting Valvagia, that dragon who keeps eating Gorons. We can now access, if we have the key, access the boss. So we still have to get that key. So the Goron just told us that in the entrance of the fire temple, which is where we are now, this is the main room, there are a couple different directions you can go. There's that direction, and I think we already did that one. So we're gonna go over here, and it turns out you can get across. Now this, funny enough, there is a glitch. I was talking about it before. There's a way to glitch yourself through this door so you never have to get this key, and you just get the boss key and then you go over and across. And so it's a very short way to complete the temple. Like I said, I don't do that stuff. In some cases, it's actually really complicated to actually maneuver and do all of those. funny enough. You have to defeat all the enemies in this room. Oh, there's another one. There we go. Make our way across. Funny enough, we don't have the dungeon map. Alright, there's a gold skulltula here, and we've got a door. This is just like those rooms in Link to the Past and Link's Awakening. You just sit quietly, wait for the floor tiles to come at you. There's only 5 floor tiles in here. So if you hit these horizontally, they don't cause any trouble. But you can't hit them vertically. So, I don't know. Go this way. And we have another one of these to deal with. So I like to use the hook shot. He says arrows don't work, but the bombs will. So you can either hit this guy with bombs, or you can just make sure to get him. Now I missed him. Now I'm going to have to hit him with this. With a double. The lunging move is double damage. You can try to hit him with the hammer, but the hammer has a shorter range of motion, so up to you if you want to do it that way or not. One more. He should be green now, I believe. Oh, he landed right on me. I always said stay away from the corners. I was wrong. Either one of those is not good. You can sort of trap him here and just hit him. That's the last one, I think. If I remember correctly, this teases you because you're so used to getting keys at this point. There aren't any keys left. I believe this is either a bomb or like a 5 rupee. So it's almost like, oh, I guess there aren't any more keys. Anyway, alright, so we came in through that door. Notice the red on the compass. So we're going to take this door. And now we have a rusted switch. And we have Goron number 9, I believe. And we have the boss key. Are you releasing me? Am I free to go? I accidentally went all the way through the text for that. So this is our boss key. We go this way. We should pop out the door on the left. Yep. So funny enough, we never got the map. So we've done this entire section without a map. And actually, I think I know where it is. In that room that I told you prior to going into the fire room, where you can fall down because it's very narrow. There's a little tiny narrow piece of floor, and you fall all the way down to the room with the lava and the bridge that's broken in the middle. You have to jump across. There is an arrow to one side. If you hit that arrow and go to that door, I believe that's where the map is. But we're not going to do that. We don't need it at this point. What I would like is maybe to have full hearts going in. Of course, I just took another hit while I said that. Nah, we've got plenty of fairies. We won't need them anyway. You can always pop over to the right side over here. And if you really just obsessively want full fairies, full health before going into a boss fight, you can do it from here. But in the meantime, we have 3 fairies already. Come on, I'm walking right through it. Seriously? I just lost 2 fairies? Wow. That was perhaps the biggest fail you guys have ever seen in Zelda. I just popped 2 fairies. And I got neither of them. That's okay. We don't need them. We are not going to need them. Alright. We are going to go across. I'm going to save right here because if you die, you can always turn it off and reset yourself, right? So here we go. I love these little cinematic cuts. There's a whole documentary on how they made these little cinematic cuts to where it looks like it's from the point of view of the boss and then looking down at Link. There's an interview with Miyamoto. Subterranean lava dragon, Valvegia. So you gotta wait for him to come out of his little lava holes that he's about to go into, and you can only really use the Megaton hammer to stun him. Then you can use whatever. All right, we're gonna move out of the way because what he does now is he starts dropping boulders on you. Maybe he doesn't do it in round 1. He'll do it in round 2. So I wait around the middle because he's gonna start popping out different spots. Now he comes out and he starts hitting you with boulders, I believe. So if you hang out here, and I didn't know this the first time I played through because there's no way you're just going to hang off a ledge like this, but you can absolutely do this. Just wait for him to go back down, finish going all the way down through the hole. Then you can pop back out and hopefully wait for him and not get hit. If you wait too long, he spits fire at you. I'm gonna go back down. Gonna come back out again. Again, you can hang out. There's gonna be a lot more rocks. Wait for him to go all the way through. Hang around the middle so that you're equidistant from anywhere he might be. Yeah, see, I got there too late. Nope, we're gonna get away. Boulders are coming. Yeah, on my first playthrough ever, I did not know you could hang out over here. Super easy. You can just avoid these rocks. Alright. And there you have it. It took, what, 4 or 5 of those? Especially if you use the, the long attack, which I always try to use. Once you've stunned an enemy, using the long attack is the best way. He gets all wrapped up in on himself. Super cool death. And the bones just collapse everywhere. And then, bam! That was, to me, one of the most badass boss fights. And the way that happens at the end is just so cool. We have added... What are we up to now? How many hearts are we up to? Couldn't count them before they went away. just like that. Clear blue skies. Chamber of the Sages. Thank you, brother. I really appreciate what you did. I thank you on behalf of the entire Goron race. So by my count, there were about 9 Gorons we saved. Is that right? You turned out to be a real man, just as I thought you would. By the way, I, the wild Darunia, turned out to be the great sage of fire. Isn't that funny, brother? Well, this must be what they call destiny. By the way, for those of you who played Breath of the Wild, since there are always references back to different names and places and towns, villages, and things like that, Darunia is just an anagram for Rudania. So Varudania, which is one of the beasts, the divine beasts in Breath of the Wild, comes from this name. Just a little thing there. Nothing has made me happier than helping you seal the evil here. Hey brother, take this. This is a medallion that contains the power of the fire spirits and my friendship. Adds his power to yours. Now you and I are true brothers. Thanks, bro. Alright. Is there anything else we can do here while we're at it? There are a couple of heart pieces you can get here. I don't think I have access to them specifically right now, only because one of them involves getting the plant. You put one of the seeds in this spot here, and it takes you to the top of, it's either this peak or that peak where the smoke is coming out, the steam, and there's a heart piece up there. The other one, let's see what Navi. An Arctic wind is blowing from Zora's river. Do you feel it? Definitely not. It's 150 degrees in here, man. I appreciate that she's trying to get you back to where you need to go next. Do you feel the Arctic wind while you're roasting alive? So these rocks, you can actually break them now. What do we have here? We're going on past an hour, so I won't be here too long. Arrows. No, definitely not for that much. Bombs. Oh, I said okay. Oh, I'm full. Yeah, I definitely don't need to be in here. What I want to go is across to the other side. I'm pretty sure there's a heart piece that you can grab. No, I do not want Deku sticks or whatever it was. There's a heart piece. You can actually see it from here. So in order to get up there, you need to come here as a kid. Over there, you warp to the pedestal. And there's a little seedling thing that you put down, and then you come back as an adult. The plant is fully grown, and then it takes you up to here. That takes you back to Goron City. But I am currently interested in... Well, I'll do this first. Because we've never done this. Whoops. Played a note by accident. And I believe this fairy gives you double magic power. Increases your magic power Great Fairy of Wisdom. Speaking of which, there are a few other fairies that we haven't gone to yet. One of them is in Hyrule Castle, but you have to be a kid. When we were there last, when we went into the castle to meet Princess Zelda for the first time, we didn't have bombs yet. So you have to come back when you have bombs, because there's a rock that you gotta bomb to be able to get to where the Great Fairy is. So we will have to do that, because that one gives you Din's fire, I believe. And so now we have our magic power matches the amount of hearts that we've got now. So last thing I'll do here is, so now that we can break these rocks, you can get across. And if you aim in between these two rocks, this is climbable. And there's a piece of heart right here. You've completed another heart container. So we'll have one more. Oh, we've got a second row. Alright. We will finish there. So now we've got to go to Zora's River, apparently, because there is an Arctic wind, according to Navi, that she apparently can feel from the inside of a hot magma volcano. Alright, see you guys in the next one.